What's up, Block fam? And welcome to today's episode where we have two badass motorcycles sitting in front of us. We've got the Yamaha MT-09, we've got the Yamaha MT-10. I feel like this is a really rare combination to be able to see these two bikes and actually compare them side by side, unless you're at like a Yamaha demo day or something like that. So Javi's bike and then Jason's bike. Also, we got High-Vis Greg wearing his High-Vis, of course. And he is here with the Tracer 900. What is it? The
GT? GT?
Okay,
yeah.
So that is basically the MT-09, but in more of a touring platform. A lot of you guys have commented telling me that I should look at that one too. So who knows, maybe I'll be able to borrow it for a day from Greg just to see what it's all about. But it's pretty much the MT-09 just touring, right?
Yeah.
And then we got Eric, who's over here playing on the playground. All right, so I'm not going to go crazy into details and specs here between these two bikes. I will throw details and specs, a link down in the description below. But the MT-09 is a 3-cylinder.
Sorry.
The MT-09 is a 3-cylinder hyper naked from Yamaha, so 847cc. MT-10 from Yamaha, which is basically the hyper naked with the R1 engine in it, and it is a 998cc. Similar bikes, but whenever you're riding them, we were just talking about this, they do feel a lot different. So this one is, as I said, just to kind of sum it up, a little bit more playful. It feels like a big Grom. You can get on this thing. It's a lot more like, it feels a lot more nimble. You can throw it around a bit easier. And then this one is f***ing serious. So we're gonna get on these, we're gonna head up Binion, and then we're gonna basically hit our little turnaround spot, and then we're gonna switch bikes and come back. So that way we've got a idea of basically what each one of them feels like, and it is an immediate back-to-back comparison, which I feel like is a pretty rare thing. All right, so on the MT-10, I have done a couple videos on this thing previously. If you guys haven't seen those, be sure to go check them out after this one. This is going to be a straight-up comparison video, but my thoughts on this thing is an absolute beast of a bike. Like I was just saying, the MT-09 feels a bit more playful. It's a little lighter weight. I think the seat height is a little lower even, and it doesn't, I mean, it has a hell of a lot of power, but it doesn't have quite the power that this one does. So we're going to be in mode 3. I've got traction control 3 on. Whenever you're ready. Gives you a hell of a lot of confidence in the turns. See, you guys can see Javi is having no problem tackling it. Kind of glad there's a car there to slow him down. So the acceleration on both of the bikes is, in terms of power, dude, the power on each of these things is more than enough. I think the biggest differences between them, I mean, obviously this one's got a bit more power, but it's just the overall feeling of like the handling. The ergonomics are pretty much the same. He has the comfort seat. There's a comfort seat on this one. This one does have a tune and whatnot, but this one's incredibly smooth. It is a little heavier in terms of weight. The 09 just feels a little bit more like flickable, friendly, like I said, playful. And it's not hard at all to get either one of these bikes going. I mean, let's here, rev it up a bit.
Oh, flames.
Oh yeah. Swappy time. Dude, the throttle response feels so much different on this one. So we're in standard mode, traction control 1. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that into traction control 2. Don't want to wheelie, be a wheelie boy. Oh man, it feels so different.
This is smooth, man.
Right, very smooth. That's the biggest thing I noticed about the MT-10. Dude, this bike just feels so much more rowdy. a bad thing, but man, such a different feeling. The exhausts are like in sync. It sounds so good. So this one has a much skinnier seat, also has a much skinnier like tank area, so it feels like visually like a lot less bike. And then in terms of acceleration, man, this thing is damn quick. I feel like this thing is almost torquier, maybe because it's a little lighter weight, but like grabbing in first gear feels like it's ready to go. How'd you feel on that thing?
Oh man, this thing feels planted.
Planted, yeah. That's the word I used.
Yeah, with all that power.
Yeah.
Pretty fun too, but you know, a different way.
Exactly. Yeah, that bike definitely feels a lot. It's smoother, whereas this one feels more scrappy. You know, but this one feeling a little like. Whenever I was getting on it, there was a point I think I downshifted a little bit to engine brake, and the bars had like a little bit of shake to them, which I don't really experience that on the MT-10. So in terms of handling, I mean, they're both very similar. Like I said, this one does feel a little more scrappy. It's a little lighter weight, whereas that one feels much more planted. That one feeling more planted, like I feel like gives you more confidence in the turns, whereas this one I feel like you're kind of walking a little more along that line of not losing it, I guess, in the turns and whatnot. This one probably requires a little bit more finesse, whereas that one, it feels like it's on rails. Between the two, I mean, damn, it's hard to say no to the MT-10. It's also hard to say no to the MT-09. But being in between them, I think because of my position, trying to decide between the two, the MT-10 is a hella serious bike. I don't ever want to, like, it doesn't give you the feeling of you want to take it off-road, you know, pooing around on it, but the 09 does. That's kind of more what I'm looking for. I can definitely see how that one might be a little more comfortable for longer trips because the seat's a little wider. You took this one to, like, Georgia, didn't you? Or Tennessee?
Carolina, yeah.
North Carolina, yeah.
And we're doing it again.
That thing did the dragon already. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so would you put, like, saddlebags on it or something?
The tailback.
Tailbag?
Yeah.
Nice. The one thing I'm reaching over for on the left here is cruise control, and it doesn't exist. That's a big selling point. I would totally decide on the MT-10 if the 2021 MT-09 SP did not offer cruise control. So the fact that the new 21 MT-09 SP is offering that is what kind of like solidifies my decision with the 09. If they didn't offer it, because that one has cruise control, I would totally be picking the MT-10, and it would be a bike to grow into. Eric would definitely back me on that one, I'm sure.
Hell yeah!
But
MT-10, baby! I mean, bro.
yeah, Eric's wanting to get that 10. So the way I see it is, when you're on the MT-10, you feel like the apex predator. There's not really much that's above you. MT-09 is just not quite as much. I wouldn't say either one of them is a beginner bike, because I know I'll get that question. So, would not recommend either one as a beginner. I don't know, maybe like start on the 03 or the 07, and then move up from there after you get some experience. I will say it is easier to find neutral in this one. But that bike also has almost 30,000 miles on it.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Ah.
And then nuts, that guy rides the hell out of that bike. Good job, Jason. Like I said, you guys be sure to go give him a follow. Jason the Mech.
Alright, Jason, dude, alright.
Yeah, man. Alright, well, we'll continue whenever we get to Plant Street, park these things, get some final thoughts. BRB. There you go. MT-10. MT-09. So what'd you think? MT-10.
Serious business.
Serious business. If you could sum it up, that's pretty much it. It's a serious bike.
That one you have stupid fun, and this one just get your adrenaline like pumping.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing it down and being able to compare it side by side. Appreciate it.
Right.
Y'all go give them a follow. Orion Base. Give these guys a follow as well. I'm going to be riding it back home. I'll go ahead and wrap up my thoughts after we grab some food. Be right back. Alright guys, so it is the following day. had some food, had some drinks, and then by the time we left, you know, it was dark, and GoPros don't, you know, work so well in super low light, so I figured it'd be better just to wait till today to film the outro for this thing and give you guys kind of my final thoughts between the MT-09 and the MT-10. Currently on the MT-10, but having the 09 to compare, you know, basically right up the road, do some, you know, twisties, some sweepers, and then be able to throw my leg right over the other bike. So having those back-to-back comparisons is, I think it's incredibly insightful, especially for like how the bikes feel. In terms of power, like both of the bikes have plenty of power. You're definitely not wanting for power with either one of them, which is awesome. Both of them feel very torquey, grunty. This one does have a bit more of like a growl to it, you know, obviously being a 4-cylinder, but the 3 kind of has its own like, you know, unique sound to it as well. I'm also a big fan of the sound of that one, so no real negatives there in terms of like pros and cons versus each. I would say the con maybe to the MT-09 versus the 10 is that the 10 in an environment like this where we're riding on the highway, it feels way more planted, it feels much more stable, and like it just feels like it's better suited to be on highway and doing highway speeds, whereas the 09 can do it, but since it's a lighter bike, it doesn't have as much, it doesn't feel quite as smooth, it doesn't feel quite as planted. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for like a lot of power, they both have that. If you're looking for something that can like just scoot around town really quickly, they both can do that. I would lean probably more towards the MT-10 if I was looking for like something a little more serious that's going to be able to do miles, because you can outfit this thing with bags. The fuel economy isn't quite as good as the 09, but you're getting a trade-off, power for fuel economy, I guess. Oh man, like there's bumps in this road, but this bike just feels so good. You know, even like hitting bumps in a turn like that still feels great. The MT-09, it feels a little bit more playful, it's not as serious, it also feels a little bit more raw, since it doesn't feel as planted. Like whenever you're getting on it, it kind of feels like you're, like the wheel's gonna break loose and that you're gonna like, you know, kind of get up and, I don't know, it just feels like it's gonna break loose a little more. I don't know, it's hard to convey what I mean, like it's a feeling of the bike. And then also with the MT-09, like I said, it feels more playful, not as serious, and it feels like you can just like hoon around and like go off-road and stuff. It feels like a big Grom. Like that's, the 09 feels like a big Grom. This does not feel like a big Grom. This feels like a super bike. Even though the other one like still has plenty of power, the extra weight, the extra presence to this thing, the extra like sound, just overall power, this bike feels way more serious. The 09 can still do highway and all that, but I would prefer it for like an around town bike. It also depends on what you have. Like if you're looking for a primary bike, I would probably go for the MT-10. Like if you only have one bike. If you have other bikes, you know, you're kind of filling in the gaps because not one bike does everything. Having the MT-10, like if I had one motorcycle and I had to choose between, if I could only choose between the 09 and the 10 and I had one bike in my garage, I would choose the 10. Since I've got the Soft Low Rider S, and that's like a monster of a bike, you know, Goldzilla, I'm already trying to tame that thing. I'm not looking to try to tame another bike. Now, another reason I would not be considering the 09 is if the new 21 09s didn't come with cruise control. So I don't have a problem with the display. I could deal with like an older display like this, but what I do like is cruise control, and that's for instances of like right now. I think that about wraps up my thoughts between the MT-09 versus the MT-10 back-to-back comparison ride. I hope it was insightful for you guys. If there's any of y'all out there that are basically trying to decide between the two, post up in the comments below. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Let me know like if you guys are leaning one way or the other, and why you're leaning one way or the other. If it was insightful, do me a favor. You guys help us hack that YouTube algorithm by hitting that like button. If other people are searching for this topic, YouTube will help to recommend them if you guys hit that like button for us. If you guys enjoyed it and you want to see more moto content like this, do me a favor. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon while you're over there so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Until next time, you guys ride safe out there, stay vigilant. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.